Here's a story from Grandpa for my three favorite little girls, Emma, Ayla, and Audrey. In the last video, I read you a story of Paddington Bear. Today's story is also about a bear, but it's a very different kind of story. People who write stories for kids often write their stories to be cute or silly because kids like those kind of stories, as do I. Or sometimes they want to show kids how they should behave. But every once in a while, you'll find a story by an author who wants to talk to kids about difficult to talk about topics that grown-ups might be uncomfortable talking about. That's the kind of story we have today, a story about a homeless bear who lives in the city. Here's the story. I Am a Bear. Written and illustrated by Jean-Francois Dumont. I don't know how I got here. I have no memory of my life before, just a few images that flash before my eyes from time to time, like the car headlights that sweep over my bed at night. All I know is that one morning I woke up here on this street, and I haven't left it since. I am a bear. I know there's no such thing as a bear who lives on the street, right in the middle of everyone. It took me a while to admit it too. At first I thought that I was like everyone else. I go home at night for dinner and fall asleep peacefully in a nice soft bed. But I quickly realized that that life wasn't for us bears. That's why I sleep here, on these cardboard boxes, on the street. At first I didn't know that I was a bear, but when I tried to speak to this lady who was passing by and I saw her reaction, I started to understand. Apparently, bears do not communicate well with people. I tried again, of course. The woman at the bakery fainted. The doorman at number 9 called the police, and the butcher chased me to the end of the street with his big sharp knife. Fortunately, bears run faster than butchers. Since then, I've learned to keep quiet, and in spite of my big body, I make myself as small as possible. Finding something to eat hasn't been very easy, even though there's no shortage of food. Rolls and chocolate-filled pastries in the bakery window, beef ribs, sausage, and smoked bacon at the butcher shop, jars of jam and honey on the grocer's shelves. It's all enough to make your mouth water. But when I tried to help myself, the big paw of a security guard came down on my shoulder. Without really understanding what was happening to me, I found myself outside, face down on the sidewalk, my stomach still empty. I realized that it was better to pick through the garbage cans at night. Having to stay out until the wee hours, I ended up sleeping all day on my mattress of cardboard boxes, sheltered a little by the doorway of a building. People no longer pay attention to me. I don't even know if they know that there is someone dozing under that pile of old clothes. But after all, I am a bear, and a bear in the city, there's no such thing. When people do notice me, they make a face. I tell myself that I must not smell very good. It's true that it's been a long time since I've bathed, but a bear smells like a bear. That's just how it is. All they have to do is plug their noses. On one particular morning, I was feeling like a grumpy old bear. I was sitting on my cardboard boxes staring aimlessly. I no longer even paid attention to the people who passed by without even glancing at me. I was lost in my thoughts, grumbling about my poor life, when a small voice caught my attention. "Why do you look so sad?" Speechless, I raised my head to find the little girl looking at me. It was the first time in ages that someone had spoken to me. "Are you sad because you smell bad?" I remembered the woman at the bakery who had been so afraid, and I just shook my head no. The girl gave a little smile and came closer. "You look like a teddy bear, but a teddy bear never looks that sad." I didn't get a chance to answer. Her father grabbed her by the hand, and they hurried away. He seemed to be explaining something to her with big gestures. At the end of the street, the little girl turned her head toward me, and on her lips I read, See you tomorrow. The next day when they came back, I was clean as a raccoon, my fur brushed and shiny. I had straightened up my pile of boxes. I didn't want to make a bad impression. The girl smiled at me and came up to me and whispered in the hollow of my ear, "Hello, Teddy Bear." That warmed my heart as if all those cold winters spent on this sidewalk had never happened. Then she continued skipping along on her way to school, and when she turned the corner, she gave me a little wave. Today, like every morning, I wait for her. I know that when she arrives, my heart will leap in my chest and suddenly my life will feel brighter, like when the sun breaks through the clouds. I may only be a bear lost in the city, but I am a teddy bear, and that's no small thing. And that's the end of the story. The author of this book chose to write about a bear, and he put this bear in the circumstance of being poor and homeless. By making the story about a bear, it makes it an easier story for kids to listen to. But you could very easily replace the bear character with an actual human person, and the story would be the same but very real. A human person can become poor and homeless for many different reasons. Sometimes, like the bear in this story, they don't really know how it happened to them. And sometimes, like the bear in this story, other people are afraid of them because they might be dangerous or think they smell bad and want to stay away from them. But like with the bear in this story, when the little girl was kind to him, it can really make a big difference in a homeless person's life when someone is kind to him or her. That small kindness can be a big deal in helping the person to feel better about him or herself. When at the end of the story the bear said, "I may only be a bear lost in the city, but I am a teddy bear, and that's no small thing," it made me think about what I might do to be nice to someone who doesn't experience much kindness, and what a difference it might make to them that day. So the moral of the story is, be kind to people who don't often experience kindness. Your small act of kindness might have a very large effect on someone more than you might ever know. Be kind, and always remember that Grandpa loves you, and I hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.